2019.
The voice of British Muslims.
European University.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I welcome listeners and viewers to Ramadan FM 2018. Our studio number is 0333 011 6786. Welcome to you all, and we're back with a community session in the afternoon at Minhajul Quran 292 Romford Road. I'm very honoured that today I have with me Sean Talbot, who's the Partnership Engagement Manager for a programme called Inspiring Family. And he works for an organisation called Serco, which is one of the biggest companies in the UK, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. So welcome, Sean.
Hi Shahid, thank you for inviting me along to talk about Inspiring Families today.
You're very, very welcome. And you'll find out as we do talk that Inspiring Families is just that. It is looking at families and all the problems and the various barriers they face to actually move into ideally sustainable work, but also to actually move them from point A to point B. It's a lot of stepping stones here.
Yes, there's an awful lot to get somebody to a point where they have employment, where they have sustainable employment.
Yes.
Is so important, and there are a huge amount of stepping stones, and we're here to help people achieve that, particularly people who have struggled.
Yes, and that is quite important. And the other thing which is important to mention here is for a lot of people, they would tune in to a radio station and particularly affiliated with a religion, and they're not obviously affiliated to a mosque, and they're thinking, well, what's a mosque got to do with employability? And for us as a mosque, it's very, very important because we have to be at the heart of what human beings in the local community are feeling and what they're requiring. If there is a barrier, if they need support, if they're in a problem, and I always say this, that if we see someone in our society who's got a problem, then that problem is not their problem, that's our problem. And we need to work with them to resolve that problem.
Absolutely, and one of the biggest parts of the ethos of Inspiring Families is to go to the people, is the outreach piece. That is so important. One of the things we've desperately tried to do is make sure that we allow everybody, irrespective of their religion, their culture, their creed, to have an opportunity to access this programme. Thus we're going out to mosques, we're going out to churches, we're going out to all kinds of areas and community-based projects, offering assistance to people, particularly obviously those around our criteria that we have to meet, as we are funded by the Department for Work and Pensions and the European Social Fund. Therefore, you don't pay for access to this programme, it's already paid for.
No, that's very, very interesting. So it's actually a project paid by the Department for Works and Pension. Serco plays a big role in actually supporting the department to help people, as we pointed out, back into work. But obviously sometimes that can be a very gradual process. Coming back to the point with regard to the mosque being involved, and one of the things that myself and Sean have often talked about is this. It's a fallacy, and it's also used quite a lot. It used to be used probably much more in the past. Hard to reach communities.
No such thing.
Absolutely, and I think you're absolutely right. There isn't. It's only as hard as you try. Hard to reach exams. Hard to reach people always say this, I can't relate to my partner, I'm hard to reach, but talk to them, it might be easier. It's easy as doing that, just making that effort.
Well, I think as well, if you want to have a programme that can be successful, whether it be an employability programme such as ours, such as Inspiring Families, or any other kind of programme, I think the essential ingredients is to get out, is to outreach. You cannot do these things from in an office. You have to go to where people are.
Yes.
You have to make people feel comfortable, and they need to see in your face that you mean what you say,
Yes.
that you're going to deliver on what you say, because unfortunately, whether we like it or not, some people feel let down by the system or by individuals within the system previously. So what we try to do is say, do you know what, here we are, we're coming to you,
Yes.
we'll be here every week, and if we let you down, then you come tell us and we'll put it right.
Yes, yes. And that's quite very, very important. What we've seen, particularly with Sean, particularly himself, he's coming in himself every single Friday, standing outside the mosque, sometimes in quite decent weather in the last few weeks, but sometimes quite atrocious weather. And he's travelling. He's travelling sometimes. I remember calling him on a Sunday to a program that we held here, and he's coming from Kent. And it was awful on that particular day.
Yes, there was. I remember there was freezing rain, which was freezing on my car windscreen. I think you saw it, didn't you? It
Yes.
was about half an inch thick. But I got here, and it's really important that I do, and it's particularly important that I show everybody that from a managing the program, which is what Serco essentially does,
Yes.
is act as a managing agent. We have providers who provide the service, and we manage them. And we have Josh, who you've got to know quite well, Shahid,
Yes.
who comes to the mosque very regularly and is happy to sign people onto the program. And it's just essential that we're fully supportive, and that on a personal level, and one of the reasons I guess Serco put me in the position I'm in, and I'm very grateful for, is that I kind of mean it. I mean what I say, and I really do want to help people. And I've been so privileged to be involved with the providers that we have on our program, because they clearly feel the same. So it's been a wonderful experience for me to have so many people around me who feel the same way, and particularly, and I have to say, even though he's standing or sitting in front of me, Shahid has been a complete and utter revelation and inspiration to me and to the providers who have come to the mosque.
You're very kind, and obviously I'll pay you whatever you're due later on.
Cakes as usual, please.
Yes. But you know, the fact is that every Friday we stand outside. People are rushing past us because obviously it's a Friday. Everyone wants to go back to work or their business, and we stand there and talk about and basically say, oh, is anyone looking for a job? Anyone looking for training? Anyone looking for an opportunity? And we try to help everyone. If someone is not fit for the particular purpose of this particular program, and we'll move on to that particular program. But we try to help everyone. So someone might come along and basically say, no, I'm not looking for a job. I've got a problem with my driving or my car or my parking. We deal with that as well at the same time. But obviously our focus is particularly to help people move into this particular program. So coming to Families First, Sean.
Inspiring families.
Oh, Inspiring Families. What is, you know, what was the purpose? How was it set up, and what's the benefit to people?
Well, it was something that we Serco bid for, and felt kind of some social responsibility, and of course an opportunity for us to enter into the employability market as a managing agent. And essentially, what Inspiring Families is it comes under an umbrella called Troubled Families. We didn't like that title, so we sat down, we got our heads together, and we said, what is it we're actually trying to do here? What is it about this program, about this employability program, that we want to achieve? And we said, we want to inspire people. We want people to feel inspired. We want them to understand the benefits of having work, of going to a job that you enjoy, and essentially making sure people understand that, do you know what, you need to go into something you want to go into. We don't want to push you into a job that you don't want. Do something you love, and money becomes a kind of byproduct or a consequence of that.
Yes.
You'll earn the money. But what you need to do is feel inspired to do the thing you want to. And that's what Inspiring Families does, is it has a whole host of people there to assist people to feel inspired. And that's what DWP essentially want.
Yes.
They want people to feel inspired, to be contributing back to the country, to themselves,
Yes.
and to each other. Obviously, the less people that are claiming benefits,
Yes.
the better the country is.
Yes, of course.
And it's important for all of us, irrespective of our religion or creed, that we have a country that operates humanely and properly, and that we all do the most we can to become the best we can.
Yes, of course, of course. So looking at this concept of the Inspiring Families, often within our own societies, we're not only dealing with families who have a lot of issues, but we're actually dealing sometimes with broken families. And
Yes, very much.
And I noticed that one of the things that you actually do is actually deal with those type of issues, where there has been perhaps crime in the past, or they've been involved in something, or the family has broken up.
Yeah, we look at a whole host of things, and we have an eligibility criteria that the DWP set for us and tell us these are the people we want you to reach out to. Mm-hmm. These are the kind of people we're looking for. So the first thing we always say, or DWP tell us, is that the person has to be unemployed or what we call inactive, and normally that's within a family who have some kind of fairly complex barriers to employment, who are going to struggle to employment, and that could be things such as the parents or the children involved in crime or antisocial behaviour. Mm-hmm. It could be where there are, I don't know, concerns from schools or other agencies about the child's performance in school or how they're behaving in school. Okay. It could be children who are identified in need of or subject to a kind of child protection plan. Okay. Families affected by domestic violence and abuse, we know that happens. Yes. Parents or children with a range of health problems. So it's really quite broad in terms of that. And luckily, DWP have also opened up the criteria to others as well. So we can start to look at things such as relationship breakdowns, and people have relationship breakdowns, or debt management issues, housing issues, substance misuse, not just any disability, but also sensory disabilities, which sometimes get overlooked. Yes. Also things such as probation, or it could be that somebody has drug or alcohol dependency issues. So it's a massive range of people.
Of course, and that probably covers a lot of people, and it seems very, very holistic. I mean, I've worked in this sector for a long time, so in the welfare to work sector, you never get two people the same.
No.
And that's quite unique. And the other thing is, obviously, everyone comes... it's very difficult for most people to open up about any issue or any barrier. And I know what happens with Serco is that they initially see a person here, and then they're sent to one of the other sort of the providers that work with Serco. And then you're seen by a professional advisor. And then if it's felt necessary, you're actually moved on to, if it's a counsellor the person needs, or any particular support around some of the issues. So it's a very holistic, very tailored service that is being provided, which is obviously very welcome, because in the past it was always the case that, everyone's the same.
Absolutely, and it's essential that our partner organisations are involved at a very early stage. In terms of the Minhaj Mosque, I come here regularly. We've developed a good relationship and people have got to know me. But I do come here always, as often as possible, yes. Which is most of the time, with one of our providers. Normally it's Josh from Catch-22, who accompanies me, and we can make sure that if somebody's eligible to the programme, so such as the things I was talking about earlier, then we can assist those people straight away. We do have to get some sign-off by DWP, and I know some people at that point get kind of switched off and think, no, this is going to affect my benefits, or this is going to affect how I live. It doesn't. Absolutely, 100%, it will not affect that. In fact, it assists the fact that you're making the effort. Because we're a DWP-based programme, it's absolutely fine. So you can access this free support that you will get. And the kind of participant journey is different. There's no two ways. You're so right. And it has to be holistic, because what we can't do is just shove somebody into something they don't want to do, and 5 minutes later they're out of there, having had a bad experience and feel really, really demotivated. What we do is we take the time, we form an action plan with the person. We make sure that the action plan we're forming is the basis of what they want to be, who they want to be, and what they want to be. So it's very much done with the person. We then look at kind of doing an in-depth kind of needs assessment, because we need to look at how we can support people who have these barriers. Now, whether it be drug or alcohol issues, homelessness, whether it be just a range of health problems, or in fact you've not been able to work because you've been looking after your children for so long, whatever it be, we look to see how we can support that person best. That could be particularly tailored hours around a job, could be that the person needs some training, could be that actually once we get that person to a point of working, what they're going to find is, do you know, I can't afford the first couple of weeks of travel.
Yes.
We'll help. We'll help with that. If you need a new suit for the interview, we can help with that too. Now, it might not be an Armani suit, Shade. It might be a Primani suit.
Yes, of course.
However, we can help with that. And we don't just leave the person at the door of the employer. We hold their hand through it, and we make sure for at least probably up to around 26 weeks, we will support that person through the first 26 weeks of that employment too. Because that's essential. When you've been out of work for so long, there could be some issues that arise, things you're not sure of, changes in employment law, changes in how you do things, and you might just need that person on the end of the phone that you can talk to. So our advisors will be there for you. We offer that in-work support, and we also ensure that the employer's aware of the assistance that we're giving.
Yes, and I've seen it firsthand. So you talked about one of the things which is quite dear to my heart, and particularly in diverse BAME communities, and this thing about carers. Now, we had a gentleman who came in the other day. Sean was sitting next to me, and the person was a very good friend of mine, and he said, no, I don't fulfill any criteria or any category. And I said, you sure? And we were talking to him, and then he said, yeah, I don't fulfill anything. And then as he spoke and he opened up, he said, by the way, I've been looking after my mum for the last 16, 17 years. And straight away, as soon as Sean heard that, that was more than enough, because sometimes we don't realise that we might fulfill a particular criteria, but also, more importantly, you're hitting upon people who've not had an opportunity. So he's been looking after his mum. He might want to work now. He wants that opportunity, and you're providing that opportunity.
That's exactly what we're here for. And I think, and you've hit the nail right on the head in terms of people sometimes don't even understand that, do you know what, I could really do with some help. Sometimes it's really hard to ask for help.
Of course it is.
Well, don't feel that way with us, because we want to help, and two, everybody goes through this. If you think for 1 second I'm sitting here and I've never had an issue or a problem, think again.
Yes.
I've had my own issues and problems to overcome. I dare say Shahid has had his own journeys.
Yes.
We all have them, and at some point in our lives it's actually quite liberating to ask for some assistance, and that's what we're here for. And we're not going to make your life difficult. We're not going to ask you to get on bended knee. We just want to know you fit the criteria, you have one of these issues, you have one of these barriers, we can help you. And we're not your judge and jury either. We're just here to help you get back into work, and looking at that in a holistic way to make sure that the journey is accessible to you, to make sure that we're there for you. And we're not asking you to come along and spend 30 hours a week or 20 hours a week with us. It's about once every 2 weeks roughly. For a few hours we'll go back through the plans, we'll look at everything, and we'll do that for up to 65 weeks. So you get an awful lot of support.
Which is fantastic. And I was just thinking, one of the things you talked about is you've got an action plan. Now, as a person who signs up with Serco or with his other partners, obviously you're a service user, but the other thing is you're treated in such a nice way and supported throughout that particular journey, very much like a child. You ask a child, what do you want to be? Today it could be a pilot, and tomorrow I want to be a doctor.
Yes. And
in the same sort of basis, that's the services you're offering.
It is to an extent, in a more mature way, I guess, for people. And it's, look, if somebody turns around to me and says, I want to be an astronaut, and they didn't finish school, then I have to be realistic and say that's really unlikely. But what we can do is get people started on a journey sometimes to get that special job. And I think what a lot of people don't understand about employers is they much prefer employing someone who's working. So in some cases, we have people who are doing evening classes to become what they want to be, but we've managed to secure them a job to start with, just to get them working. One, to get used to the kind of rigours of getting up in the morning, getting yourself ready for work, going out to work, spending the day at work and coming home. please don't think I belittle that, because that is tough to do.
Of course it is.
And if you haven't done it for a long time, it can be an even tougher journey. So it's really important that we kind of stage that correctly for people, and make sure that we support them into the job they want.
Yes.
And that can take 100 different journeys, as you well know.
Yes, of course. Of course.
It really is. It's a bit like the base of a tree.
Yes.
And then we go up into the branches, and there's so many branches.
Yes.
We've got to look around and work out which way to go. And that's why our advisors are so important, because you could very easily go along the wrong branch.
Yes, of course.
And we can help you create that action plan that helps you to ensure that you go along the right branch at the right pace in the right way.
No, and that's very, very important. And the other thing which I'm looking at one particular section of society, and we have mainly women returners. So they're coming back and they look after children for a long period of time. And one other thing I have seen with particularly the advisors that are affiliated with Serco is they do provide that holistic support. And what I mean by that is that, say for example, you've got this particular group of people, and if you ask them, oh, have you worked? Oh, no, I haven't worked. Do you have any skills? No. But then actually being a mother and looking after the children, being able to multitask and all the other things that come along with it are skills that the advisor will be able to pull out.
Absolutely. And sometimes we might just need to formalise those skills
Yes,
for
of
that
course.
person. But when you consider you have some women who have looked after, say, 2, 3, 4 children, whatever it be.
Yes.
I've got no skills. Yet there are nurseries crying out for people who have the skills to make sure that they understand the psyche of a child.
Yes, of course.
Understand how and when that child needs a nap.
Yes.
How do you change a nappy? Do you know, Shahid?
No. I'm very grateful for Pampers. I couldn't do the old ones.
Exactly. That pin
Yes.
do me every time. But all of those skills are really, really important, and also the kind of communication skills that people get. And even when we talked about ex-offenders,
Yes.
so we've had guys who were drug dealers. So we can't get away from that. That's also part of our community and part of our life, whether we like it or not.
Yes.
But those guys find out that they've actually got really great skills, because
course.
they've had to possibly import the product.
Mm-hmm.
They've had to find the correct market to sell it to, and so on and so forth. And actually what they've got is the ability to do import-export, to do sales, to understand where sales are good.
Fantastic.
So they actually don't realise that they have a huge amount of skills themselves.
Of course. So all they need to do is vent it in the right, in the positive
And
direction.
that's what we do. That's exactly what we do, is we make sure that those skills that they have are used in the correct way, used in the proper way to benefit themselves, to benefit their family, and to benefit their local community.
No, that sounds really fantastic. So we arrive at a point. So you come along. Let's say you come to the mosque. You've got a client. Describe the journey.
Okay, yes. Well, the participant journey is quite important, really. Well, firstly, if you come along to the mosque, you come and talk to myself, or you talk to Josh, and we go, actually, yeah, we check the kind of eligibility criteria with you, and you're eligible. So what will happen is we'll take some details from you. Obviously, there are very specific rules around data protection these days, so we make sure we have your permission to do so. We won't do anything or share anything without your permission. We're not allowed to. It's against the law, so we wouldn't do it. And what we do is we make you aware of what we call our customer charter, and that's so that you understand what you're going to get from the Inspiring Families and what is expected from you for your journey. It's not a one-way street. This has to be with the person wanting to actually work. Then we'll arrange for a meeting. That's normally within 5 days of the kind of initial kind of engagement, and then we'll get you kind of signed up. we have to fill out a form called an ESF 1420, wonderful thing that we have to do, and that gets sent to DWP, who then say, yes, that person is eligible. Again, please do not go into panic mode at this point, because a lot of people then get concerned, oh, well, they'll know I'm this, that or the other. It doesn't go through those systems. It really is just a check to make sure you are who you say you are, essentially. Once we've done that, we'll then do that kind of needs assessment, look at the support that you need. That we followed with the action plan, either there or then, or possibly over a period of a couple of sessions. Then we'll kind of review that. We'll do that monthly, in person, but we'll also normally make contact every other week, so once a fortnight, by phone or email, whatever suits that person, social media, however that suits them. But at least once a month we do ask that the person meets with the advisor in person, has a chat through what have we done with the action plan, because there will be actions for the person, there will be actions for the advisor, so that the pair of us can then look at it and see where we've progressed and what we've managed to do. Also, do bear in mind, this is a one-to-one personalised support as well. You'll get an advisor, and it's one-to-one. You're not in group sessions. This is all about you as the individual. Then we'll look at job search. Each of our providers have their own employability arms. They also have access to some of the Serco jobs too. And we also have access to other jobs as well. But I'm sure you'll ask me some more questions about that, so I won't go into detail.
I was going to ask you, that would be the next question. Often we find, particularly the job centre, and I can speak from experience, I've worked for the job centre for many, many years. Now, the problem we always had with the job centre is that people come in and technically they just sign on, and they give you some evidence of what they've been doing, and you basically show them the door, that's it, and they'll come back 2 weeks' time. And there was many a client who would come in and cry out and say, well, you've got some jobs, but they're rubbish, or they don't exist. Every time I ring, there's no one there. So one of the things you touched upon is that link with the employers. So who are the employers?
Oh, they're so varied. I mean, it goes from jobs within local communities, i.e. Small companies who are looking for a niche set of people. And we're talking about 10 boroughs of London here, so right across East and North London, essentially, is where we work. So we have the smaller companies, we have the medium-sized companies, and we have the big corporates. Yes. So obviously Serco's a fairly big corporate, so we have lots of jobs there. We also, and I get sent these, and I send them out to my partnerships, to my partners within the partnership. So, for instance, we had loaders for bin lorries. That was one job that came up recently, and there are about 15 of those we're trying to fill at the moment. So we've got those kind of jobs. We've got British Telecom. We made a really good connection with them for their open reach network. They're looking for an absolute huge amount of people. And that's a brilliant job. Look it up if you don't believe me. So that's open reach engineers. If you're interested in that and you fit with us, then come to us, because we can help you with that. And it's a wonderful opportunity, and there's plenty of them, and plenty of these opportunities throughout the place. We have a company called Deploy who deal with what's called Section 106s. Section 106s are what the councils use to ensure that employability within local areas when somebody's building there is used. So we have access to that as well. So lots of opportunities.
Wow. Hopefully that's not my phone. It's someone ringing in. It didn't show. Okay. Well, whoever rang in, please ring back.
Sorry if I was talking to you.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's quite an impressive list of employers.
It is, and I just wanted to finish something up around the participant journey, really, if I may.
Of course.
Which kind of falls in with some of the kind of vocational training that we can offer, that we can source. And we don't just pay for it sometimes. Sometimes it's out there free and you don't know it. Yes. But our advisors do, and they know where to go and get it. Yes. So we can find those things. We can also offer work experience and job trials and volunteering. And we also do a thing called financial management and better off calculations, or BOX as they're called.
Okay.
And what that means is, if you're on benefits What we don't want to do is put you into a job that actually means you do not gain the benefit of working. We never make you worse off.
Hello, caller. Hello. Hello, caller. I think the line has dropped. Please call back again. We're having some problems with our lines, but please feel free. Sean, you were saying.
Sorry, Shid, don't they always say never work with children or animals on a live show?
Yes,
or phones?
Or phones, absolutely.
Yes, so the better off calculations really ensure that you are better off by going into employment. In some cases, some people we found to be hundreds of pounds off better a week, but we won't push you into a job. That's not what we do.
Yes, hopefully this time it goes. This works. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Radio Ramadan FM 2018. Who's calling?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Your name is?
I'm Mohammed.
Oh, Mohammed, how are you?
Alhamdulillah. I'd like to speak to your guest if you don't mind.
Of course.
Can't hear you.
Sean.
Good afternoon, Sean.
I'll
No,
try.
just bear with us for 1 minute. We'll see if we can.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Sean.
Okay, he can hear you now.
Good afternoon, Mohammed. How may I help?
Just a quick question for you. How do you find working in the local mosques within the East London area?
Oh, it's been. I don't know how to put this. It's been incredible for me. I'm not a Muslim, and I have been welcomed into your house so kindly. I find it quite humbling, in fact, that I've been welcomed in the way that I have been, and that the offer that we've put forward with Inspiring Families has been taken up with such vigour. The support from the mosques has been exceptional, and I think I've said to Shahid a couple of times, when I come in and sit in the office, I said it's one of the most peaceful places I think I've ever been. So I've found it to be absolutely wonderful. I can also say the same, we've been to the East London Mosque too, and that's been a wonderful experience as well. Yeah, it's been superb. I feel I've been absolutely accepted by the community.
Brother Mohammed, does that answer your question?
It's been a pleasure having you as a person that knows what he's doing, especially for the Muslim and Asian community. And we'd like to work with you as long as possible.
Well, I thank you very, very much. We're very much about being inclusive. We very much want to invite everybody in and make sure that everybody has this opportunity. So this piece of outreach for me has been one of the highlights for me of the programme. So thank you.
So, Brother Mohammed,
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. Now, what do you feel then? I mean, obviously, it's not something that's traditionally done. Mosques confine themselves to certain things like the prayers. Do you think this is something that other mosques should be following, or is it something that should remain completely separate? Brother Mohammed, I think are you there?
No, I'm still here. I'm just listening. I think we should take this forward and make sure that everybody comes together and on one platform and helps the community.
No, you're absolutely
Doesn't
right.
matter what faith they are.
Yes, and I think that's what Sean was alluding to in the beginning. Even if it's a mosque, it's not the case that it's not open to everyone. Anyone from any walk of life, from any religion or any ideology, just comes along, and we're here to support that particular person through the wonderful services that Sean is talking about.
You're right there. Sean is a man of many talents, and we know Sean has a long way to go.
I'm sure he appreciates your very, very kind words. I'll ask him to answer that.
I feel a bit embarrassed, but thank you very, very much. I appreciate those kind words. I have to say, I've been very much, as I say, inspired by our providers, the people at Catch 22, the people like Josh are an inspiration to me, as everybody I've met at the mosque. Been a complete inspiration to me. This hasn't been a job for me. This has been an opportunity to do something that's very close to my heart, to help people. And Circa have been very kind to give me that opportunity. It really is a wonderful thing to do, and the more people we can invite to come along and meet with us, who we can support into employment, the better. We're happy to do that for as long as we possibly can.
See, I think with the advice, and I'm sure, Brother Mohammed, you can, support this, is that the message obviously we want to give to people who are listening to this program, even observing it on YouTube, is it's not necessarily about you. It's about everyone you know. So if you're not in a situation where you're looking for work, that's fantastic. That's brilliant. You're very fortunate. But I'm sure every single one of us knows someone who needs some support. And it's now time for you to say to those people, look, go along to the mosque. Go and meet Sean. He's outside the mosque. We've got little stalls set up. Come and meet us. We're here from 1 o'clock onwards every Friday. And if you can't turn up on a Friday, just walk into the office and I'll give you Sean's number. And that's the way it works. We're there to support people anytime they want. It's now for people who are listening to pass on that message, because you should be passing on the good news. And this is very much the good news.
It's very much an opportunity. Very much an opportunity to do that.
Yes. Mohammed.
As you just said rightly, Sean and Circa go hand in hand, and we need to be a part of this family to make sure that people are put into employment.
Absolutely. And I think you've hit the nail on the head when you've used the word family. It is about a family. Imagine within our own small nuclear or extended families, don't we support each other? Don't we look after each other when we're in difficulty? Don't we look out for each other? This is an extension of that. If someone is in a difficult situation, and let's be honest, unemployment is not a disease. Not having a job is not a disease. It's just something that happens to everyone. Same as homelessness.
No, and people can get themselves in a rut,
Shahid,
very quickly, and that can affect your mental health. I've been there. I do understand that, and if people want to come along on Friday and ask me more about that journey for me and how it affected me, I'll be happy to tell you. But believe you me, there is hope, and there are people here who want to help you. And like Shahid said, it's not a disease. It's something we can absolutely assist with. If you have these barriers that we've talked about to employment, then we are here for you. We are here this Friday at 1 o'clock. I will be there, and we are there to help.
So please, everyone.
The remedy is there, isn't it? Dr. Sean will be there on Friday. Please do attend.
Absolutely.
Yes,
that is my message.
2 spoons of inspiring families should just about do it.
Yes, absolutely.
You're right there, Sean. No doubt about it. It shouldn't be families. It should be inspiring families.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Brother Mohammed, thank you so much for calling and
thanks for having me on.
Inspiring us. Thank you
very
very much.
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. That was Brother Mohammed. He had some very, very kind words. And I think exactly what he was saying is he did hit the nail on the head when he's talking about a family unit, people in a family supporting each other.
Absolutely. We definitely take the approach that we want to support people, and talked with you many times on this, Shahid, about how that kind of extended family can exist. And if you were to look at the country we live in, and you were to take everybody as your brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, etc., yes, as a metaphor for the bigger family, a more extended family, then I think we're all better off. We're all going to do much better in life. We're all going to be happier. Yes. And there is nothing quite like spreading joy. And if you've been unemployed for a long time and you just think, oh, I'm not worthy, or I haven't got the skills, or the only jobs I can get are so low paid, it's not worth it, think again.
Absolutely.
We're here to help you think again.
And that's very, very important. And one of the things that you talked about earlier, which I think is important to sort of highlight again, it's not about, no family is ideal and no person is ideal. No person, every person has an issue. The issue might be something quite small and it might be quite big. It might be something that has happened in our past that actually stops us getting jobs. So one of the things that I'm sure through this particular program we deal with is someone's got a criminal record.
Oh, absolutely. I've got quite a background.
Yes, of course.
as you well know, I was within I worked within prisons for 23 years, so I really do understand about people who have struggled because of their offences, because they made mistakes, because they got something wrong. Well, the Rehabilitation Act, for instance, is very clear. And we're not here to trip you up. We're here to help you. Are there employers out there who would think twice about employing somebody with a criminal record? I think generally we can say that that's quite possibly true. Yes. What we will do is find the people who will actually value what you are as a person, who you can be, what you can be. And if you've got gang affiliations right now and you're listening, they're not your family, but we can be. And we don't want anything in return. We just want you to be a success. That's what we want for you in life. So we're here for you.
And that's a very, very important message. Yesterday, for example, on our program, we had Brother Rahil Butt, I know you've met, and yes. He's been through that. He's been through that gang affiliation, and now he's coming to the other side. And to be honest, the thing is, it's easy for me to say, oh, he's sorted himself out. Now he's realised his mistakes. But it is very, very tough, because obviously the guy's got a criminal record, and the people he's working with now have got a criminal record. They've got a background which doesn't look too appealing to an employer. But you can change that. You pointed out that some of those skill set they might have learned in the life of crime is still a skill set. And the other thing is that with families, and that's why it is about supporting families, is that families know within our own families, within our own children, that they make mistakes. They
absolutely, and that there are philanthropists and businesses out there who will absolutely employ ex-offenders. What they're really concerned about is, are you ex or
yes,
not?
Yes.
That's what concerns them. It's the only thing that ever really concerns anybody. So if you're brave enough, big enough and strong enough to say, I want to come away, and you want to come and talk to us, then we can help you into a job. We can help you find your way out of that, for sure. And what's more, we have a network of other, if you like, organisations yes. who we can actually contact. Gangs Line, the SOS Project, a whole plethora of them, Spark to Life. There's absolutely lots of places and people that we can help you go to, that we can help you find. If you're looking for work and one of your barriers is around that kind of criminality and gang membership, etc., we can help you with that too. In a lot of cases as well, I'm well aware that a lot of people say, do you know what, unless I got out the area, there's no way out.
Yes.
Can we help with that? I don't necessarily say we can, but we can help find ways of helping that. So we can be part of that solution. But I'm not saying we've got a magic wand.
Yes.
But we can start the process of making that happen.
I like that attitude, and the attitude is very, very important. And that attitude is basically, look, it's not the case, and I don't think any organisation in the world will actually say, look, we've got all the answers, but the fact is that we know someone who might.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't claim to be the all-knowing oracle.
Of course.
When Serco took on this contract, we took it on with our delivery as 100% outsourced, because we don't have the internal skills to do this. But Catch-22 and DABD and East Thames Groundworks, Renasi, Salvation Army, Twin Training, etc., all of our providers do have the skills to do that. They genuinely do. What we are good at is kind of managing that process, really. And my job is to go out and talk about the program and make people aware of it, and actually look to see how it works. And I'm very lucky to be that person who does that. My manager, Faisal Ahmed, is another inspiration to the program. This is a guy who although he lives in the Midlands, is down here regularly, more often than he needs to be, actually, because he's so desperate to see this work. I mean, everybody involved with this program has a passion for it.
No, absolutely, and I think I'm going to use the analogy Brother Mohammed used about having a doctor, and it's very much that. So the service that's provided at a local mosque is very much a GP service.
Yes.
So you come along, and then we've got a huge range, it's unlimited almost range of specialists that we can refer you to get that specialist support. It's not about the mosque or Serco trying to recreate the wheel. No,
and frankly, if every community organisation took the approach that this mosque has taken, each community would be better off for it. The resources that the Minhaj Mosque has put in to assisting people within the local community is just unbelievable, in my opinion. I've seen some really great things here. And in terms of employability, I like to think we're kind of number one.
Yes.
And we are number one for a reason, and that's because hopefully you guys believe in us, and we definitely don't want to let you down. We want to be what we say we are, and we want to deliver on what our promises are. These are very close to the heart of the Inspiring Families programme, and also very close to the heart of Serco. Definitely trying to instill that into people that, yes, you can trust us. And yes, we will deliver on what we say we're going to do.
No, absolutely. And I made the point earlier when we started this program. We talked about Serco. I was reading not too long ago, and I pulled up the Daily Telegraph from about a few years ago, and it made the point, and it made it very, very clearly. It talked about Serco, and it basically made this comment, and the comment was that if Serco was to not be in existence, then Britain would stop.
And probably would in some ways. Serco deals with, as a service relating company, it does an awful lot of different things. From doing your bins, to doing the employability program that we're doing, to your leisure centres, to some of the military installations that we have in the country. Yes. Including our nuclear deterrence.
I was going to ask that, yes.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we do the tugboats in Portsmouth. We do an absolute plethora of things. We even run prisons. So, yes, we do an awful lot of good stuff. And do you know what? We have made mistakes, and some of your listeners will probably be aware that we've made one or two, but we'll own up. And if we'll pay it back. We'll do what we need to do. We're an honest company. We've got Rupert Soames at the head of our company. Churchill's grandson. He's an amazing, inspiring man who I've enjoyed working for. He is an absolute inspiration, and he is the basis and ethos of our culture, of the culture that we want to create. And Serco is worldwide, and Rupert is putting his stamp all over that. And definitely, as I said, it definitely flows down to the Inspiring Families.
It's so refreshing to hear that here you've got one of the biggest companies in the country coming along to a local mosque based in Forest Gate, trying to help the community. You can't say more than that, and that's inspiration in itself.
It is, and one of the things our CEO has been very clear on is, let's deliver our services in an excellent way. Forget about the money, just deliver in an excellent way. The money will come after, and that, I guess, is what I love about Serco.
Yes, and I think that's probably what that says a lot about Serco. It also says a lot about Sean, because from what I've met him on many occasions, whatever he says, he delivers on. He's a very, very, a very, very honest man, But he's a person of the people. It could be the case that we could just ask Sean to stand outside the mosque and have a desk. He's not like that. He's shouting at people, calling them over, saying, "Please come over. Is there anything we can help you with?" And that is very, very not only enterprising, it's very encouraging for most organisations, and it's an absolute pleasure for us to have the likes of Sean, who's working for Serco, and obviously having Serco coming along down to the ground and actually supporting us.
Well, absolutely. It's what the programme was designed to do. It's what we've been asked to do, and that's what we're doing. Inspiring Families is all about the people, and it's all about assisting those people who really need that help.
And that's a very, very important message. We're about to move to the end of this particular programme. I would encourage people, once again, to speak to people that they know, people that they don't know, but maybe that the person they know, they can tell someone else. It's about this very, very easy concept of marketing. 6 stages of separation.
Yes.
Everyone knows everyone who knows someone. We done a test, and you'll be surprised. I was working in the employability sector, working for a company very locally, and we started this six stages of separation. And there was a young gentleman, and he done this as an experiment. And at stage 5, he was contacting Barack Obama. He was in the president of America at the time, so he emailed Barack Obama because somehow he got the direct email address. And just by chance, Barack Obama was sitting on front of the computer at the time and actually responded back to him. And that just wouldn't happen without that concept of believing that this can happen.
Absolutely. And if you've got family in Enfield or Haringey, Hackney, Tower Hamlets, Waltham Forest, Newham, Greenwich, Redbridge, Barking and Dagenham or Havering, we can support them. We're right across those 10 boroughs of London, right across the east and north, and we're here for you.
And that's fantastic to hear. That's a huge, huge area that covers most of our branches within London. And the final thing to say here is that Inspiring Families is about inspiring individuals to move forward and succeed.
Absolutely.
And not only that, is that when mosques, religious organisations, community centres, great organisations such as Serco and other organisations who work within Serco come together, that's when you see a community come together. And that's what it's all about. Communities come together to deal with issues. I will ask... I've been told we've got another 15 minutes if we want. We will take advantage of that. What we'll do is we'll have a very short break, and then we'll think about some of the next questions I'll ask Sean. Thank you very much. Please keep listening.
Thinking about selling or letting your home? With Maxwell Estates, you don't need to look any further. Well established with over 15 years of experience, Maxwell Estates are specialists in residential sales and lettings. We manage over 200 properties in and around Northwest London, keeping our landlords and tenants updated with all the latest laws and legislations. Based in Edgware, our experienced specialist negotiators always ensure we maximise the full potential of your property. Call us now on 0208 952 0808 for a free no obligation quotation, or visit our website www.maxwellestates.co.uk for further information. Maxwell Estates, the name you can trust.
With over 25 years experience in the East London area, there's no better firm to rely on than Cameron Adams Century 21 when it comes to properties. Be it lettings, property management or sales, we can assist you to ensure you get the most out of your property. Contact us on 0208 558 2000 for a free, no obligation valuation and watch us do what we do best.
Grab your taste of luxury at Pink's Boutique. Designer brands like Hugo Boss and Armani to keep your style in check. Catering for ladies, men and kids, Pink's Boutique has it all under one roof. And we offer shipping worldwide. So get the look to fit your attitude. Visit us on our website at pinksboutique.co.uk. Remember, that's pnksboutique.co.uk. Or pop into our store at 302 Brentwood Road, Romford, RM2 5TA.
Ramadan FM 2018.
The voice of British Muslims.
European University of Business now offering BA Business Management, MBA with specialisation. Our courses are regulated by UK Quality Assurance Agency and taught in a highly professional environment. Special offer for Ramadan FM 2018 listeners only. Please call on 0203 288 3143. Email info@universityofbusiness.eu.
Solicitors in. You can expect a variety of services from us, ranging from family law, immigration, human rights, money claims, personal injury and many more. We are committed to providing you with the best legal advice suited to your individual circumstances. Drop us a call on 0203 500 8000. Our office is located at 62 Barking Road, East Ham, E6 3BP.
Why spend summer in your room when you can fly off to your dream destination with facilities like car hire and hotel bookings? Well, Flight Masters have got you covered. We offer holiday packages, city breaks and flights at the most reasonable prices with the best provision of services. So why delay? Call us today on 0203 598 9938 or visit our website at www.flightmasters.com.
Do you dream of travelling to those blessed lands where the beloved of Allah was born? Does your heart yearn for Medina, the city of the beloved? If it is your time to experience a spiritual journey words cannot justify, then join us at Sam Travel and Tours and book your Hajj and Umrah packages today. We offer group and tailor-made packages for all your requirements. Based on Romford Road in London, for our last 10 days Umrah package, please call us on 0208 478 8911.
Ramadan FM 2018.
The voice of British Muslims.
MR Accountants provide a full range of accountancy and taxation services, including annual and management accounts, self-assessment, tax returns, VAT, bookkeeping and payroll services to all different types of businesses. With our in-house chartered accountants, you can be guaranteed to save money. Contact us now on 0203 432 9138.
कितनी बार कहा है कि घर को साफ रखा करो। मैं तो थक गई हूँ सफाई कर करके।
उफ, ये कॉकरोच, चूहे, कीड़े मकोड़े घर में घुस आए हैं। कहाँ जाऊँ, किसको बुलाऊं?
माँ, बहन, बीवी और बच्चे, किसी को भी इंसेक्ट्स नहीं लगते हैं ये अच्छे। So don't worry, I'll call City Pest Control. Deal with cockroaches, mice, rats, bed bugs, fleas, flies, all types of insects and rodents. 0203 633 0080 or 0770 279 8808. www.cpestc.com. City Pest Control, large enough to cope, small enough to care. All our technicians are British Pest Control Association qualified and we are regulated by the Royal Society of Public Health.
This Ramadan, visit Al Akbar's for all your meat and poultry needs. We buy only the highest quality meat and are HMC registered. We've got some amazing offers on all our products this Ramadan and we provide free local delivery for all our customers. We also cater for restaurants and large events, so no matter how big or small your order is, Al Akbar's is the name to remember. Visit us now at 51 to 53 Upton Lane, Forest Gate, E7 9PA or call us at 0208 472 5742. Al Akbar's, the name to remember.
Yo bro, Kazi's getting married and I need to get hold of a car.
Yar, I know some boys who know SPM car hire. They got the best cars in town. Rolls Royces, Ranges, Maseratis, Aston Martins. Cause you name it, they got it with the best prices in town.
Sorted. Looks like I'm going to this wedding in a Range then.
They'll drop off the car and pick you up once you're done. Just give them a ring on 01798 397 916 or visit them online spmhire.com or find them on Instagram.
Looking for meat and groceries? Look no further than Waris Food Store in Walthamstow. Visit the store to view our special Ramadan offers. 420 Hull Street, Walthamstow, E17 9AA. Or for free delivery, call us on 0208 521 0000.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome back to Ramadan FM 2018. Welcome back, Sean. We were talking about some of the great program that Serco is providing, inspiring families. But I think one of the things that you touched upon, and it's quite important for me to explore that, and perhaps we might even explore it later as we go through Ramadan, but maybe even in community radio. We were having a discussion while we had a short break, is this concept around moving people along and what people end up in. And one of the things that Sean talked about, and he was alluding to his work in the prison service. So I'm going to ask Sean maybe some of his experiences in the prison service, but particularly some of the experiences around people who have probably changed and mended their ways and moved into change their life, basically. Over to Sean.
Well, thank you for that. Yes, I joined the prison service in, I think it was 1993.
Okay.
And came away from the prison service in 2012, essentially, although I did spend a few years working within the private sector prisons. Now, firstly, that was an interesting choice for me. I worked for Her Majesty's Prison Service initially, and had my own prejudices, essentially. Mm-hmm. And those prejudices were around how I felt about the private sector having prisons.
People who actually run radio shows and hosts, they should definitely remember to switch their mobile phone. Sorry, you were saying.
So yes, it was a kind of moral choice, because I felt initially that working within a private sector prison was immoral to kind of profit from, if you like, another person's misery. However, I was placed in a position where I could actually see a prison at work that was a private prison, and was invited to come along because they were interested in me coming to the prison to work. So I went to HMP Thameside, which is actually run by Serco, thus my involvement with Serco, and I went there almost like an agent provocateur in some ways when I initially went there, because I was absolutely convinced about the immoral, how immoral this was going to be. Oh wow, did they prove me wrong? Did I have to eat my words and learn about my own prejudices, if for want of a better way of putting it? Mm-hmm. And I found it to be a prison that really cared, a prison that wasn't looking just to make money out of people, but really, really wanted to do the right thing. And I worked there for some years and absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it. And along the way, I met some very interesting people. I can't mention their names, so I'll invent some names. But we'll just say I had this one guy who worked for me as an orderly. I worked in the Diversity and Equalities Department. I was the manager. And I very much wanted to have the prisoners taking a much more proactive role in what diversity and equality is. Yes. And I had this one young man, and he was what we would call a prolific offender. Okay. And he came under what's called the Prolific Offenders Register even. He was a serious offender, quite a violent young man in his life, and had seen lots of violence for most of it. I took him in, and it became very, very clear very, very quickly he didn't really understand that he was actually a very intelligent young man who, although he hadn't done well at school, clearly had an interesting way of thinking. And I got him involved in doing a few things around equalities, and actually started to, with the help of other staff, I hasten to add, get him in a position where he felt a lot more confident. And he was approaching his release time, and he was very nervous about this and where he was going to stay. And we talked about that, and we actually managed to speak to a gentleman by the name of Dr. Albert Barnes, who I can tell you, who runs a charity called UK Resettlement, which is based in Kent, I think, still. And they look at offering places to ex-offenders so that they've got somewhere to stay.
Yes.
So he said, well, what am I going to be? What am I going to do? And we talked about his crimes again, and I think I alluded to the fact that drug dealers sometimes have talents they don't realise.
Okay.
And I kind of got that from Martin in some respects, this guy. So he really showed me his true colours in terms of what he was capable of, and really quickly learnt. All I can tell you is I have had some contact with him since, through social media things where he's found me. I know that he now has a family, has a wife, has a young daughter, and I know that he earns more than I do as a project manager working on construction.
How dare he?
But I couldn't be prouder. I couldn't be more pleased for the guy. And I played a very small part in that. But it does go to show that there can be positive outcomes for people.
Yes.
Really, really can. And as long as you're prepared to accept the help, as long as you're prepared to make the effort and understand that, do you know, it's always a rocky road.
Of course.
Change is difficult, and it's an uphill road, and it has lots of rocks on it. But at the top of it, well, there's something really special there waiting for you, and it could be a family, it could be trips away, it could be whatever it is that you dream of as a person. No one's here to judge that, but what we want to do is just realise that opportunity within each person, unlock the talent, unlock what everybody has inside.
Yes, and that's very, very important. I think there's the saying about seize the day.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. 1 o'clock tomorrow outside of this here mosque.
Seize that opportunity.
Seize the day. Come and meet me. Come and meet Josh. Come and meet Inspiring Families.
And
right.
that is the message. It really is. Come and seize the day. The thing is, we're here to support people. We're here to work with people. We're here to deal with any issue that you can think of. Never think, how can I go out to a place such as a mosque and talk about these sort of type of issue. It doesn't really matter. We're here. We're not. The whole idea is because we've been there and we know people who've been there. We're non-judgmental. It's not going to be. I've probably dealt with everything that there is. I'm Sean. Sean probably dealt with more things than probably exist. Because of his work in the prison service. So we're here. We're here to listen, give you the chance and that opportunity, and to turn your life around, and actually make it fantastic for yourself, but more importantly, also for your families, because
Absolutely.
The people, if we're in a difficult situation, sometimes we become very selfish, and even if it's not the case, if we talk about people who have committed crime, even someone who's suffering, say for example someone who's looking after as a carer, often what happens is carers never think for themselves and always supporting other people, but sometimes through your silence and not actually saying something, you're actually hurting other people, because you're spending all your time doing this particular one action because you feel, oh, that's my duty, but then you're actually letting down people.
Absolutely. I'd see so many people who think, oh, I must help others before myself. Well, do you know what? Until you've got you right,
yes,
you can't really offer the assistance that maybe you could if you were right.
Absolutely.
So it's about initially making sure that you get the assistance that you need, and then helping others, and all of that can be done.
It's really about inspiring families. That's what it really is. It's about making sure that each individual and each cog within that wheel is working so well that the family becomes truly inspirational
and stronger, that you become stronger as a family, and as you inspire your family, you inspire others. It's like that 6 degrees of separation in some respects, or pyramid sales, if you like. It's about once one person feels the benefit, others can. So come along, come feel the benefit.
Thank you very much, Sean. It's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to meet you. Thank you very much for coming along to Ramadan FM. I would say to Sean that obviously come along for more of our Ramadan programs, but more importantly, with regard to Serco, the message is that this is not the radio station of Minhaj al-Quran. This is the radio station of the whole community. This is the station of Serco. And we want you to play a bigger part in it. Come and take ownership. This is yours. Make it happen. Bring in people, make the viewership more interesting and the listenership more interesting, and really stamp your authority and come along. You know our doors are always open. Thank you very much, Sean. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Listeners and viewers, thank you very much. That was the community session for this afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon you'll be entertained by my colleague Anthony, and this afternoon there's a community hour again. Thank you very, very much for listening to Radio Ramadan FM 2018. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.